as game number 2 is on Gesa. And Infamous is up 1-0 and is bringing around the 8 infantry, whilst Phoenix is bringing in 39th guards on the lovely map of Gesa. Phoenix's pick, Phoenix's map of choice, and yeah, he won on this map before. This time he also has the good side on it, I would say, so he got a bit lucky there. And let's see if he can equalize it, or if Infamous gets already to the 2-0 lead, which then would give him the match ball, which you never want to be on. Like, being down 2-0 would be absolutely devastating. That's a pretty tough position in any best of 5. Having to reverse sweep then to get the W would be really tough. So you really, really want to win here as Phoenix. And oh boy, okay, I see what's coming up there. That's a lot of
I've seen
SPG.
them as well.
That's a lot of SPG 9s down there. So we might see a fast speed rush game here now from Phoenix. Maybe Phoenix
Yeah,
realizing that he, don't know, in the really normal micro, maybe not quite up on par with Infamous today. Maybe wants to just make it weird. Just make it uncomfortable for Infamous. Coming up with 6 SPGs for himself already. So let's freaking go. And yeah, if you want to support the players, once more guys, shout out to Matcherino, where you can do so. And big thanks once more to everyone who already contributed, getting us to $690. So even as a 4th place, you now get $59.99 in this tournament. So these players have that safe, but they still can get up to the $300 for the 1st place as well, if they play well here. Yeah, and face Karma in the playoffs. As we're gonna go in here now. And this is going to be hot. So, yeah. Infamous coming around with Stingers and Itos. A couple of Jaeger Aufklärers in the front. Cobra. And yeah, a lot of Stingers actually. That's, I guess, the SU-25 counter he goes for. No pivots or anything like that. Stingers seems to be the start. And then maybe an F16 coming around early on. Try to prevent those from going rampage. But I want to...
I mean, we've seen it in both his deployments so far. A lot of utility-based units, so Stingers, Itos, just trying to lock down areas of the map before he makes his move and his push. And I'm sure we'll have like the key units coming out where he'll kind of base his play around them.
Yeah. This should be a pretty hot one. I'm quite optimistic that this is going to be fun. So...
Looks like Venus has got a quick kind of order almost all the way to Alpha and then pushing up to Charlie on those SPG 9s.
yeah, this is quite optimistic pathing, I would say. But let's see how that goes. Like, 6 of them, Me 8 coming in. I'm surprised the Me 8 doesn't go support that fully. Like, it stands still in the middle. But I guess with the Stingers around, it might be a good idea. Not going fully deep. And Phoenix does seem to be a bit indecisive about what to play. We have seen a couple of units being popped down and then deleted again. So Phoenix not quite having the full-on plan yet. Maybe feeling the stress already of being down 1-0 here. And
I mean, yeah, mentally it can have a big effect on you, especially if you know you've got a lot of games to come up. Obviously, he wants to avoid that by getting out that first game early, but just needs time to settle himself down, get a clear plan, and see if he can perform better in this second game.
yeah. Also, that first game for sure was not the greatest performance, and then you have to be careful to not start doubting yourself about like, oh, can I actually beat that guy? That first one got beaten pretty heavily. Like, such thoughts can be pretty destructive at this point, so you gotta be really careful of keeping them out of your mind. And just keep on playing here, but yeah, for that you need to find a strategy, and other than that, the setup here seems to be a pretty standard one. Osa's coming around in doubles again. A bit surprised by that, because I don't think there's that much scary air on the other side. I feel like one single Osa for the center would be good enough for the get-go.
I would think so, yeah. I don't think he'd need both, unless he's fearing a bit of a heli rush from 8th Cobras, but I think one OSA would have done. Could even paired it with a Mi-24V AA as well, so you can have the ground support and the anti-air capabilities. But I think 2 OSAs might be a bit much.
Yeah, that's... I mean, they will keep the air clean, but that's a 120 points that don't affect the front line directly then. Which
Exactly.
could be like a T-62 or so extra with another infantry or so helping out. So we have a couple of more BMP-3s coming around. BMP-3s, obviously the elite unit of this division. 5 frontal armor, an amazing 100mm gun that can fire on really long range with HE shells, 18 penetration, 2,800 meter range ATGM, and a 30mm that is pretty capable as well. So those BMP-3s are absolute ballers, and they're pretty helpful against the infantry, I would say, on third. And they can even be pretty scary 2-0's M60s as well, which are really cost-efficient tanks with 10 frontal armor, 15 penetration. So, going to be interesting in the center. The rate of fire on these also pretty nice, together with the accuracy. Like, for a cheap tank, this is really, really high accuracy on 60 on the static. Yes. There's good amount of recon on Infamous' side as well. Infamous in general seems to be quite ready here. Yeah, once more, a hell of a lot of stingers, and this time engineered dragons and military police. So a couple more beefier infantry units this time around from the start, but still not too many, as there's still a good amount of military police. But those military police are also so cost efficient. Like, yeah, those M67s.
Yeah, recaller's rifle, so strong. 1400 meter range is so nice for it, and with how quickly it hits as well. You do have to think about travel distance for the ATGMs. Crawler's rifle's got a little bit to go, but it is very effective for the price.
Yeah, and the game is on. So we have 5 recon units, we have those 6 SPG-9s, and let's see where they can go. I think they're coming on a pretty obvious path, but there's only one ITO getting into their way here, down on the south. I'm surprised, as I said, that not more recon is going with them. Like, at least the Rajvet guy, in my eyes, should be deployed a bit further forward to help them spot anything on the other side. The
You
path.
could just drive the Razvedka up, unload the Razvedka to then run up to the forest, and then the KPV can just stick the SPG-9s.
Yeah.
It's a way to get vision, and it won't be a big loss.
Su-25 rocket is around as well. And the Tow Cobra has to be careful of that. If that can get its 30mm on the Tow Cobra, the Tow Cobra might be in trouble. Is Infamous quickly enough? Though, yeah, Infamous, quick reaction here. Really, really good reaction.
It can still hit it if it's on the ground, so it might have lost line of sight.
It only did dive down, it didn't even land, so yeah, hitting it on the ground wouldn't have happened as well, but instead goes for the Jaeger Aufklärers, does good damage to both of them as well. Doesn't quite take out any, so they can be repaired, but the Stinger now gets killed off. And the first
F-16 coming in.
F-16 coming in. OSAS not quite up on the front yet, so the F-16 gets on top of it with the gun. Ooh, but doesn't quite get enough hits to get the kill. F-16 at least doesn't get killed by the OSAS either, but loses a good amount of hit points, and the Su-25 still being alive when you invest into an F-16 is pretty painful.
The SPG-9s are getting taken out by the ATO on the bottom side.
Yeah, they lost line of sight by now as well. They now try to run away. The SPG-9 play here so far not doing so hot, as the ATO barely misses the last one there, but 2 kills on it, and the ITO's still around. M60 also coming in to stop all of this shenanigans. And in the north, the Engineered Dragons and the Fireteam 84s putting up a good amount of pressure. BMP-3s coming in on the other side though. And those
engaged by the Bradley with the TOW 2.
Yeah, the smoke was important. Phoenix a bit quicker this time around on this. Seems to be a bit more warmed up. Another smoke popping. Yeah, good reactions there on the smokes.
On point now.
Really on point now. Seems to be
SU-25 coming in.
Fully warmed up. And yeah, the SU-25 coming in for stuff in the north. And with one Stinger already down, there's only one Stinger currently in the north, and that will take a hell of a long time to kill off that SU-25. The other 2 Stingers in the south, not in range for doing anything there. So the SU-25 actually can do a lot of damage here. If it...
2 CVs into Infamous, second one just coming into Alpha now. Put the point tick up to a +5. And no CVs on the side of Phoenix so far.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's none in Delta, as that's a pretty standard move, as that's a +3 zone. The SPG-9s trying to push once more, but they run into a Jäger auf Clever and even let the Jäger fire with its normal guns. The Tow Cobra and the Aito from the south still decimate them further. So the SPG-9 plays so far not worthwhile at all. SU-25 coming in again, but there's a Fighting Falcon. And this time around, the Fighting Falcon gets the kill. Osado gets the revenge kill as well. And that's pretty painful. Quite unfortunate there for Infamous, losing one of the F-16s, as the Stinger and the F-16 did good damage to the SU-25. But the SU-25 got just those couple of shots into the F-16 that allowed the OSA to one-tap it. And
you don't want to go straight on against the A-10 or the SU-25 because their Gatlings will shred any planes.
Yes. Aito in the north versus BMP-3 gets the easy kill there. 2 BMP-3s now down, the one in the north and one of the ones in the center, so that's a bit annoying for Phoenix, but got a good amount of kills still, and is also now on the move a bit forward there. BMP-3s in a nice spot, and little AT around there, and the iHawk went down, the Tow Cobra went down as well, so that's a bit painful, as we see more and more BMP-3s. Phoenix completely down on the BMP-3 train, and that's going to be annoying for all kind of infantry stuff for Infamous, dealing with these 5 frontal armor, heavy HE damage vehicles that now try to shred the engineers. M113A3 will fall, and the engineered dragons will struggle to kill off the BMP-3s, as the dragon only has 14 penetrations, so it's actually needing multiple penetrations there to kill these BMP-3s. As
I've only got 1 ammo left.
Yeah, the BMP-3 helps destroying the building, helps taking them out. So the center, Infamous, is in trouble there. Finally a CV in the rear for Phoenix as well. So yeah, Infamous is up 700 points now, but the center has to be contested again for Infamous, otherwise this will be a really, really tough game.
Tow Cobra forcing the BMP-3s back there. But the amount of fire support that Phoenix has in the center of all these BMP-3s is going to be so hard to deal with for Infamous.
T-62s in the north trying to come in. The Aitos are annoying, but if they are running out of ammo, that leaves the BMP-3s even more space. It's only the Bradley now has ammo still left with its TOW-2s.
Misses that BMP-3 there.
Has to be pretty careful around them. BMP-3's taking out the engineers most likely in the building. Now trying to disengage, deciding to smoke to go for the safe route of disengaging there. And driving back now, as Infamous is up on a +2. And a CV coming in for Infamous in the center, so we'll go up to maybe around +1000 before Phoenix is neutralizing that, as Phoenix's 2 CVs are now just coming in against the +4 that Infamous will have in a second.
I'd like to see Phoenix really take advantage of what he's done so far. Maybe try push, get a little bit more aggressive if he wants to. Use some smoke as support. But the 1,000-point lead he's going to end up with going against, which Phoenix will have, will be a tough one, especially on this map.
Yes, M1 and M1A1s coming in. So those are pretty capable against the BMP-3s, especially the M1A1. Also, against the M1A1, the ATGMs of the BMP-3s start to really struggle with only 18 penetration. They have nice range. They're pretty great in sniping enemy IFVs on the long range and annoying things, but they are not great against heavier tanks due to that lack of the extra punch that other ATGMs with 20 or even 25, like the Aito have, that actually do real damage. They only deal like 1 damage per hit. Against the M1 it's a bit better, but it's still not amazing. So the M1 and the M1A1 I think are great investments here. Question is there still enough support for them though on the battlefield? And I feel like the
Exactly.
answer might be no. As
The infantry is just disappearing slowly.
yeah, the BMP3's murdering a lot of stuff like that. And the M60 in the south goes down to the BMP3, so yeah, there the ATGM is great. M1A1 in the center though, starts to take them out one by one. Whereas BMP3 takes good damage here. The TOW Cobra doing a good job as well. Thunderbolt coming in for the north. T62 and T80BV should smoke off there.
G27 coming in.
Yeah, SU27 coming in, goes for the head-on though, and that's, ooh, yeah, last second head-on dodge. Good dodge from Phoenix. You don't want to go for that, but doesn't micro the T80BV, so the T80BV will go down. Seed coming in as well. Yeah, getting a Nosa. SU27 tries to retaliate, not onto the Raven. iHawk in a bit of a weird spot, gets the hit in though. And the Fighting Falcon will finish the job, but not in time.
Raven goes down.
Ooh, the Raven goes down. What a clutch air fight here. Great air micro on both sides. Well, and like good ideas on both sides. This Raven was a really good call in. Bit unfortunate to lose it there last second, but it got the OSAM. SU27, good micro on it, not going for the head on. It looked like it for a second, but yeah.
But it was going to get caught by that A10 gun, but just managed to turn away. And really good airplay, I think, from both players there. The Raven coming in, supporting the A10 to pick off the OSA, but SG27 showing why it's so expensive.
Yeah. Only, yeah, T80BV getting caught by the A10 makes the A10 pay off a bit for itself as well. So it takes a lot of pressure from Infamous's north, where the M1 now can stand the tide against the BMP3s. That T80BV was really scary. With that in the real line, the M1 would have to tread really lightly and not get caught by it. But now the M1 is the strongest unit around. The BMP3s can't do much against it aggressively. So Infamous is in a pretty decent spot now with 1,100 points again. Just lacks the infantry to push the center. Has the better artillery as well though. Like, the thing about 8th is that they have M110 guns, so those can be pretty helpful on this map. SU-25 coming around again. And the iHawk is out of supply, which is pretty painful, especially as the supply helicopter here nearly might have gotten got. Ooh, that was a close one. Was a clutch land. That would have been really painful, losing this to it. As a Chaparral is coming up for the north. But the SU-25 has no opposition right now on the other side.
And that's great work there. Out of ammo now.
Yeah, quite annoying. Not having anything to deal with that.
The question is, when is Phoenix going to bring a CV in for Charlie?
I feel like he still hasn't secured that enough, but he does disagree there, as he's bringing it right now. Akatsia smoking off the M1A1. SU-25 rocket flying around. iHawk moving up to the battlefield, onto the battlefield as well. Chaparral coming in for the northern part. As the M1 went down to the artillery fire there in the north. So that's a bit painful. Kanonjagdpanzer still around. Still using its sneakiness to get some nice shots off. Might try to get the BMP3 and Co as well. As it has extra stealth compared to other tanks with mediocre instead of bad stealth.
Yeah, they're a really great cheap tank to have out on the battlefield. And it is turning towards the BMP3. Not sure if it's going to push to engage, but they're great to litter about all over the place and take on IFVs.
Cobra does retreat. TOW Cobra sitting on the battlefield as well. Artillery landing all around. And yeah, Infamous has to find a way of how to push Phoenix out of that center position. Big artillery can do the job. And you can also try to push in for the north. Try to get in there. TOW Cobra is trying to move forward, but the OSA is just coming in clutch there. So the TOW Cobra, if it moves too far forward, might get caught by that. And OSAs quickly decimate helicopters, especially unarmored ones. So that TOW Cobra should really think twice about moving any closer to the enemy frontline there. Whilst, yeah, it's a bit of a lull now. Both sides not quite having the forces to push any aggression, and Phoenix just being fine with contesting a bit of the blue zone there in the middle. Getting a CV in there would allow Phoenix, Phoenix to get to a +2, which over time will catch up. But Infamous's advantage is really sizable. Like, it would be 12 minutes Wait, even longer actually, like 30 minutes for Infamous on a +2 to catch up with that. So the advantage that Infamous got is sizable. And the M1A1s, I would say, a pretty good weapon in the fight here, as
And
they
Infamous is
outclass,
bringing more of them in.
all these Soviet tanks by a bit, at least, and by a good bit against the T-62s. So I like the M1A1s, as also, yeah, as we figured out, the ATGM on the other side, not quite having the highest of penetrations, so M1A1s actually can survive a good amount of ATGM fire as well, as we have the first big gun out for Infamous, the first M110 gun, and Infamous likes artillery play, so I wonder how this will go now.
Bringing in a second one as well.
Yeah,
And he has pinged where Phoenix is firing his artillery from. And so we could see some counter battery fire coming in soon.
and those M110 guns are pretty expensive now, 280 points a pop, so quite the sizable investment, but they can also pay off quite quickly. If they hit the buildings in the center, they can shred them in no time. So this is going to be interesting. As the Akatsia in the north is trying to deal with defensive positions of Infamous
TV
here.
and Charlie now.
Yeah, Phoenix up on the +2. Slowly but surely catching up to his opponent's points here. As the Bradley fires in the north, gets the KPV. And artillery coming in for the Bradley. Akatsia trying to do its job. But you can snipe those CVs pretty well with M110 guns.
And I think that's what Infamous is going for. Saw where it came into the zone and he's going to start firing there, but whether he gets shots on target will be another matter.
Yeah, I would have gone for the buildings first. He's just trying to go for the furthest corner of the map, of the zone, to try to get units shot there, but that's not quite where the CV is. But M110s will have more shots for sure coming that direction.
Definitely. So. Phoenix does have a second CV though, moving up to unload and get into the zone. So he's prepared to lose it, and he doesn't want to lose that 2+ tick.
T-62 in the north gets approached by the Bradley and then M1A1. Has to be careful there, as the Bradley now opens up with the ATGM. T-62 though, moving back. A good reaction from Phoenix. Not getting caught there. And the Bradley also giving it away a bit. If the M1A1 could have gotten up there and shot first, that would have been more helpful.
Conker's replying.
Yeah, Conker's coming in for the Bradley, and the Bradley reacting too late, getting a snipe, and that's a recon Bradley.
Tank and not the Bradley.
The Bradley is 120 points a pop, so that's quite the expensive unit to lose there, as we have a couple of users coming in. So AA, you shouldn't move too many fighters over the enemy front line, and helicopter usage is also mostly limited to defensive play now. Yes, the M1
looks like this is just going to be a big artillery war now.
Yeah. The M110's now trying to go for counter battery, and that might be interesting. If they can get the Akatsias here, that would be masterful.
Hasn't moved on their targeting. Phoenix trying to move it now, but
that's a bit late. Down to 2 hit points, stunned, slowed. Yeah, there we go. First Akatsia down. That's a great kill. 23 minutes still remaining here in this game for Infamous, so still has a lot of time to make this. And the +2 is taking on for Phoenix. UH-60 supply coming in here. We'll try to resupply the M110. M30 mortar moving in to get some smoke and so on up on the front line. Kanonjagdpanzer
taken out.
Gets murdered by the BMP3s. Yeah, against such targets, the BMP3 ATGMs are absolutely fine. Great range, good speed. And the damage is just fine against such targets as the M1A1.
Might be extending here with them.
2 Conquerors versus the M1A1. That tank has to be really careful now. Yes, the T80BV.
BMP3 did go down in the center to the Kanonjagdpanzer. Pushed too far forwards.
Yeah. M1A1 in the north has to disengage there now. TADBV coming for it, and it's already down to half hit points. Already stressed out a bit, so that's possibly quite annoying. As the artillery in the center tries to get the BMP3s, but those are out of position now. As I said, I would try to go for the buildings first. That's usually the stuff I destroy there when I know the enemy is pushing in there.
Especially after missing in the woods and not taking it out. You might want to think that it could be an infantry CV.
Yeah. Bradley now under fire on the other side. Will take a solid amount of damage from the Akatsia, as the second one has joined the fight again. So, let's see how that goes. Chaparral missing a lot of shots against the Mi-8 MTA.
Very lucky for that to survive there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, OH-58 Scout coming in from the other side. Nice helo stuff. Little infantry recon from Infamous. But yeah, the year of terror got a bit decimated. And little recon in general, a bit in the center for Phoenix. Like, Redredkas on the flanks are all nice and so on, but you also want to have a bit more CV in this recon in the center, I feel like. The ones Redredkas Saperi are really exposed, and if they go down, you're kind of blind. Like, really blind.
I think both players are kind of blind at the moment anyway. Switching between perspectives, neither can see much in the center.
Yeah. And Warrior 10's now starting to shoot towards the building, get his full supply truck, but not quite hitting onto the building. So the
Obviously
CV
got the
will survive.
accurate fire mode there due to the recon, which Infamous has deployed. It probably would have been better to do the wider spread area of effect. Try and hit as much as you can, especially with the 6.9 HE on those artillery guns. You can kind of spread the shots out.
Seed coming around, but quick reaction there from Phoenix. And Seed also not going quite deep enough, I think, to really get a shot off. Raven, for
Yeah,
sure, a
quite.
great, one of the few seaplanes that I think are really worthwhile bringing. Solid agility, great ECM with 60%, so it's not often gets shot by enemy A, even if it gets a bit too close, and it has great range on its missiles as well, which is really, really helpful. Meanwhile, M110's trying to get the Priusa.
I think Infamous just used the Raven to spot AA to try and target it with the artillery there.
That's a fair way of dealing with it as well, yep. Trying to get the Priusa there. Didn't ping them though, which I'm a bit surprised by. But yeah, Priusa.
But yeah, it looks like Phoenix is moving most of his AA in the center now, just to avoid that. And both players really starting to stack up. Looks like Infamous is going to be getting ready for a push in the center.
Yeah. M60s and Kanoniak Panzers sitting around in the south. And this might be an interesting infantry push, the tank push there in the center, as there is only infantry on the other side for Phoenix, but not quite enough to spot the infantry maybe on range. And there's also now a Rapira coming up. Not sure if the center is the greatest spot for Rapira, especially not with the artillery around, but it's going to get there. Artillery going for the Osa this time around, getting that killed. So yeah, it was the Raven spotting for the artillery, and it worked out this time around. And so Phoenix has to reinvest quite a bit there to get that replaced. But we have two T-80BBs coming in. The center really starts to become a big fortress here for Phoenix. And that's really not what you want from Infamous' side here. As Phoenix's +2 slowly ticks up and is now the advantage down to 500 points for Infamous and ticking down.
And Phoenix has these T-80BBs just sitting back in his zone on that side, just out of line of sight of anything, keeping them safe, and they can always push forwards when they need to. No need to expose them on the front line when there's nothing really to shoot at right now.
Yeah. And chat, don't you worry. I am so used to caffeine. One Club Mate won't keep me awake for too long. And also I'm on a really big sleeping deficit. Like, if I would lay down right now, I would be able to fall asleep even after drinking it directly now. Don't you worry there. I always was not super sensitive to caffeine. Like, it's functioning for me, but it's not keeping me awake for super long. If I want to sleep, I can sleep, no matter how much of that I drank. Nice artillery hits here now. Phoenix using another Piusa, losing a couple of other units as well. The M110's really starting to kick in here. That big artillery duel is going more into the favor of Phoenix as Infamous as Phoenix's Akatsias not quite having the same success on the other side. And now the M1A1s start to put up some pressure as well. Cobra can move up a bit, though not too far, as there's still an Osa around. But at least with the kill on the Piusa, it allows it to get the Conquerors, and that's some nice pickups now. That's some...
Yeah, nice micro by Infamous there. Just using the rockets and not getting overly aggressive.
And more
Raven
tense.
coming in again.
Coming in for some nice hits on some infantry. Motostrelki getting decimated.
Uriusa goes down.
Seed coming in, not getting the Osa. So that's a bit unfortunate, as it fired both of its missiles, but the Osas also don't get it back, thanks to the 60 ECM, and now the Osas are known again, so they have to be careful. Tries to go for...
TADBV is pushing forwards to deal with the M1A1s.
Yeah, but it's 3 M1A1s. It's only 2 TADBVs, and 2 TADBVs in gun range already have the weaker matchup here. So I'm not too optimistic. They get a side shot against the first one, though. Ah, that was bad movement from Infamous, as it was on its own, and it got side shotted. That's really not what you want. The second one also showing side armor there. That's risky behavior. Gets a side shot against the TADBV as well, though. That's down to 2 hit points. Smokes off. And a third TADBV joins for Phoenix here in the center as well. So that engagement so far going better for Phoenix. Bradley with an ATGM though. TOW-2 missile can kill the TADBV here. Next one under fire by the M1A1. ATGM flying in for it as well. It should have smoked off. It didn't smoke off. It gets side shotted by the M1A1. 2 TADBVs down. And Infamous is on the push now in the center. Bradley with good hits against the Motostrelki. And Kanonjagd Panzers and M60s in the south now maybe can join the fight as well once more, as Infamous is really starting to make that pushback work here. So really good play. Yeah, better start for Phoenix, but nice follow-up, not giving up on it, trying to get the win there. And now with M110s coming in for the Motostrelki. Motostrelki under heavy fire. So that is going to struggle. Great micro from Infamous, as the first
really
CV does
he has
fall.
pulled his M1A1s back now as well. He doesn't need them. He's dealt with the TADBVs and they're back out of danger.
Infamous showing how he made it so far to the semi-final here with all that great decision making in that regard. Pivot moving up, trying to get the Mi-24 VAA, though single pivot does struggle a bit to killing stuff like that. Kanonjagd Panzers and M60s coming around. One CV in the south still remaining, so the M110s will have to find that. But they are
actually 25 rockets.
They are right on top of it now. Kanonjagd Panzer desperately tried to move forward, but Mi-24Vs shooting at it. As the pivot once more tries to get the kill. TADBV is around once more, but the M1A1 is so close. This TADBV has to be so careful, as it's back to full hit points, but not fully unstressed. M60s coming around as well. M1A1 gets the first shot onto the TADBV. It's down to 4 hit points. It has to smoke off, otherwise it will go down here, as the CV does fall. So the take for Phoenix is over, and it's still Infamous in the lead. TADBV does fall. Another one comes up, but it's on its own versus 5 tanks on the other side. It's 2 of them being M1A1, so this is not looking hot. BMP3s and another TADBV trying to come in time. Su-25 rocket comes in, but it's a lot of AA this time around.
Goes down. There is an A10 circling in the back, an F16 cluster coming in now, going after the TADBV.
With that hits.
M1A1 goes down to the side shot of the ATGMs.
The F16 being hot. The OSAs are turned off as the Raven is around, so the F-16 will get out alive. as a MiG-23 MLA is trying to go for the seat, will get a gun run on it, so the Raven most likely will go down. That will be annoying, as that's the last Raven. MiG-23 will go down, but it allows
And the A10 goes down in the center as well.
to kill off the A10. A1 went down here in the center as well. And the TADBV got rid, the last remaining TADBV here, got rid of the M60s. Oh no, the cluster didn't kill the other one. Ah, right.
It survived.
F-16 cluster is always a bit annoying in that regard. And Infamous now trying to come in with the cavalry. Aero rifles and helicopters trying to land here, but that's still a hot war zone. And trying to fly in directly there with helicopters is not an easy thing to do. As Infamous desperately tries to push the enemy out of here, but down to one M1A1 now. The TADBVs are not looking hot, they're both damaged. M1A1.
This M1A1's so close at this range, it's not going to matter too much.
Yeah.
The positioning of the TADBVs on either flank.
There's still the Rapira on the south. The Rapira in general did a great job here as well. M110s now trying to help out against the infantry once more. Oh no! Disaster! The SU-25AT gets the M1A1. Goes down as well, but that's still such a big loss here in the center. And also, the thing is, you don't get that many M1A1s in the deck. Especially if you start to take them with veterancy. So I'm not sure how many more Infamous has. There's still now 3 on the map again, 2 more coming in. So one is still in the north, so he still has some for now, but he can't afford much more of these losses. Rapira under fire now in the south. Is there CV coming up for Phoenix again? No, for now, no Phoenix CV coming in to get the advantage in points. For now, Infamous still has the lead, but this is going to be really, really rough.
Picks off one Eye Hawk with the artillery. It's like Infamous is trying to probe a bit in the north.
Aero rifle, go down. Rapira under fire. That Rapira is going to die, isn't it? Oh! Quick pickup! Great pickup, but it might not matter. Oh. Ah, at least saves it from one hit there. As the MR10. Ooh, that pickup actually does save the Rapira. Otherwise it would have gotten hit directly. Now it's down to 2 hit points. Great save from Phoenix. Great reaction there. That was clutch micro. Getting the pickup there. Saving it from a bit of damage, at least with 1 hit.
And he has got a CV coming in at the back.
Yeah, but 2 M1A1s have arrived in the center again. The TADBV is still damaged. Didn't get repaired yet. Didn't have the supply right next to them. There's a couple of supply docks around that could move forward. The Ural, the MTLBs. But Phoenix decided for getting for a new one, but that still has to arrive first. Little AA around in the center as well. MiG-23 MLD has to be careful with the amount of AA around, but will prevent the aero rifles from getting through. As M1A1s are rolling in here again in the center, together with a good amount of Heimatschützen, couple of Kanonenjagdpanzers and a Cobra. What are the M110s doing? For now, nothing.
Yeah, nothing at the moment.
Yeah, smoke
seems
to the
like
south.
Infamous is busy microing elsewhere.
As the MiG-23 will go for the Cobra, will get the kill. Eyehawks not in position. One of the Eyehawks went down. Yeah, Garcias out of ammo. Oh, I hope Phoenix realizes that in time. 2 SU-25s, yeah. Smokes? No smokes? No smokes? No smokes? Oh my god. No. Oh, loses 2. Oh no. Last second clutch of the SU-25s, and the Eyehawk not in position to punish this. SU-25s will go out alive 1 hit, but oh no. This is disaster.
Wow.
2 of the tanks down. 1 burning over here, 1 burning over here. And yeah, that was Infamous's hope of getting this game back into order. That triple M1A1 push was a really great chance of getting this to work, but instead it gets an absolute nightmare. SU-25's coming around, and just this time a bit sloppy on the smoke micro. MiG-23 in the rear also gets a fighter killed. F-16 goes down. as the Big 23 is in the backline of Infamous. Great move there from Phoenix getting it in there. And yeah,
I
the
think Infamous is getting desperate now.
counter push here for Infamous not working out at all. So this is going to be it. This is going to be it now. I feel like there's no way Infamous is pushing this out ever now. With
No,
the
definitely not.
25 still being around. Akatsias, Phoenix realized his mistake as the Akatsias were out of ammo and were attack moving forward. But
Yeah.
they didn't go into the enemy fire. He realized that just before that happened, so those will now get reloaded and will stay in the rear. MiG-23 is now getting hunted by an F-16, but and yeah, goes down there, but it did its job, protecting the Su-25s, getting one of the F-16s killed off earlier. And 2 T-80BVs versus only one M1A1 in the center now. That's
The
not what he planned.
artillery for Infamous going in on that T-80BV though.
Cluster trying to help out this time
Is that
again
it?
as well. But there's so many OSAs behind that. Like, this cluster is not getting out alive. It gets the kill at least. Or
The
are you...
OSAs, they're off.
Ooh, yeah, they were turned off. Why were they turned off? There's no seed anymore. Why would you keep them turned off? Okay, the
Phoenix
F-16...
got to turn them back off. Back on even.
Yeah, F-16 gets out at least. But and now it's equalized the T-80 versus M1A1 situation again. Another M1A1 coming up. But...
Phoenix has turned his AA off again. I don't think he realizes he's taken out both Ravens.
I guess not. As he maybe hasn't seen that the first one died. Like, his Su-27 died before, and he might just have...
Oh, that could have been it, yeah.
He might just thought that one got out, so... Yep, that's a bit of a mistake here. Turning off the OSAS allows F-16s to get out alive that shouldn't get out alive, but at the same time, it is such a tough play now for Infamous. He just doesn't have the push power here. The M110s will be able to provide more support here for a longer while now. Motostrelki trying to come in, but might actually just run into the M110 fire there, as that's pretty much on par. Ooh.
Oh,
That was clutch.
close.
That was really, really close. As the Motostrelki leader down to half-life immediately, getting under fire by the M110s. But the M110 fire afterwards a bit off. Good micro there by Phoenix. Just ever so slightly out of
the zone.
The zone of destruction there. At least.
I'd like to see another 2 CVs probably in here. He needs to push the points. There's only 4 minutes left.
Yeah, only 4 minutes left is a real thing now. As Infamous maybe could try to do one more counter push, try to get something. And the M110s should forever now fire on that one spot where they just saw the CV.
Yeah.
So that the CV, if it ever pops back in again, immediately gets hit. But they are not firing at the moment. Aero rifles trying to move forward again. Cobra moving around, but the CV did survive. If that CV would have fallen there, getting another CV up in time would have been a tough job for Phoenix, but Phoenix is just about to overtake Infamous here in points in this really clutch 40-minute game.
Artillery is firing on the CV now.
Yeah, but
looks like Phoenix is ordering it all the way to the bottom.
Phoenix just got the point. That's the big thing. Like, Phoenix just got the point advantage, and yeah, it's a tough one here for Infamous. It's a tough loss. It's a pretty annoying loss. Like, yeah, map is a bit against you. And then you also play great, but then your massive counterattack gets bullied by those annoying Su-25s. M110 now trying to come in. And
Infamous just moving the M1A1s forwards, not attack moving.
yeah, I mean,
trying to get as aggressive as he can.
Yeah, he has to get ground here now.
Rapira getting the side shot.
Rapira in a nasty spot. That Rapira that got saved earlier by that great micro of Phoenix's now is stopping that big push. CV still in. It's only 2 minutes 32, and Phoenix now
25 ATs coming in again.
Up a good amount of points, and yeah, the 2 Su-25s absolutely nasty. will fire the ATGMs around. Pivot goes down. Stinger is not quite getting the damage done, so the SU-25s can continue, and there's just not enough AA here in the center to stop this, as Phoenix is up over 100 points now. So even if you push Phoenix out now, you still have to then push into Phoenix's zone as well. And quick.
And Infamous is moving a CV up to try and do that, but these M1s are going to go
just
down.
so little stuff. There's also not much stuff on the other side, but the S25s get all the M1s, and there's still a TADBV. I guess there's one more M1. No, it's a M60. One more M1 in the north. One of the SU-25s finally goes down to pivots, but this is not a great situation here for Infamous. Phoenix up on the +2, and Infamous does surrender here. As Phoenix goes up and evens it out with a 1-1 now. So it's tied, and we're basically now in a best-of-3 situation. GGVP here to Phoenix, getting it in an absolutely clutch game. And great play though by Infamous as well with the artillery and so on. Just slightly off when it came to the smoke on the M1A1s. I feel like if that M1A1 push could have gotten through, if the S25s would not have gotten the kills there, that game could have looked quite different to what it went.
It really pivoted around those heavy tanks. And I mean, we saw him use them with third in the last game really well, and this time just couldn't quite keep them alive when he needed to.